Good afternoon, traders. This is a live trade recap. I took two trades this morning between 9:30 and 10 a.m. Eastern time. I have them on video. I'm going to show them to you in just a moment. But at first, I want to go over my trade tracking spreadsheet because I forgot to show you this in the last few live trade recaps. So let's start out here. This tracks all of the day trades that I take, and this is based off of my trading plan right here, which you can download from the Facebook trading group by the same name, Trading Armor. So right now, we are just tracking these day trades using that strategy. These are all market open trades from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time using an all or nothing risk management, meaning that either I get stopped out at a 1R risk or I take profit at 2 times that risk. So we're going to do this for 100 trades, possibly 100 days, and possibly up to 1,000 trades. 1 share per trade. That way we're not risking a lot of money, and that's something I recommend you do, especially if you're a newer trader, or maybe you've been trading a while but you want to try a new plan or a new strategy. Scale back to just 1 share per trade. That way, even if the plan fails, if it's not profitable, you're not risking a lot of money. Right now, just doing these test trades, I'm down $1.19, so not a big deal. We're already 18 trades into this. If I was trading full position size, I may be down, $20, $50, who knows. So anyway, right now we're 18 trades into this. The plan itself is actually showing that it's still profitable. We're above the 33% break-even threshold. So this removes, you can see there's a couple of trades on here that are outlined in red and blue, and those are either glitches from, like I entered because of a glitch on Webull, or I made a mistake and took an entry that I wasn't supposed to take. So if you go back to the daily notes here, I usually specify what went on there, so you can read through those notes and you'll see what happened with those trades. So if I remove those trades, we're above break even at 38%. If I average that number with the actual trades, we're at break even. And if I include every single trade that I took, including the errors and glitches, we're slightly below break even. But none of that's surprising to me because the markets have been trading sideways for quite a while now. So any good trading strategy or trading plan will take advantage of directional price movement. So it doesn't matter whether you're a long bias trader or a short bias trader, you need directional price movement. Sideways movement isn't going to make you any profit, even if you're trading perfectly, or it's going to make you, very slight profit, like this plan is showing that it's doing with that 38% win rate. So let's take a look at the trades today that met my criteria. So Enob was the first one. Let me back it up a little bit here because we already passed some important moments. So Enob met my criteria to go on the list to look for trades, but never met my chart criteria to actually take a trade. So what I mean by that is that you see this yellow line is telling me that it broke through the previous highs. I don't know if you were watching Enob during the pre-market, but it made a really impressive run up about 125%. If you traded the pre-market, you might have been able to make some money off of it. But by the time it got to the market open, it was extremely overextended. So I don't just jump into something like that, although I used to. Maybe, when I first started trading, I would just get excited about those huge pre-market moves, jump in, hoping that the thing is going to continue higher, and usually end up losing. So now I have a strict criteria and plan that I follow, that I don't take a trade unless all of that criteria is met. So the criteria for this trade would be trading above the previous high, which it is, and then after the first pullback, I would enter on the break of a 1-minute candle. So right now it's pulling back. If it breaks down below point A of the ABCD pattern, then I can no longer take a trade. And if you're not familiar with that, I have a video explaining the ABCD pattern, so you can just search for that on the YouTube homepage and that'll pop up. But right here, you can either say that this is point A, or if you want to extend it just slightly for the pre-market, you could say this is point A. But you can see it starts to come down below that level, and once it does that, I can no longer look for an entry unless it makes a brand new high. It has to come up above that 12.99 level. So I never took a trade on Enob because it didn't meet the criteria. Now ORPH is the next one. And this one I did take a trade on, but this was a glitch based on the chart. And if you've been watching my videos from earlier today, you know exactly what all that's about. So I'm not going to get into it on this video. But basically, the candle stick kind of disappears here. And when I checked the high of the candle, I got 12.16. So that was what I was looking for. And as soon as the price broke above 12.16, I took an entry. But turns out the price was much higher than that on that previous candle. So we'll see what happened there. So there I entered as soon as it broke 12.16. I got in at 12.18.5, and pretty much immediately as I entered the stock, that candlestick reformed and showed me that that was an error entry. So now once I'm in a trade, whether it's an error on my part or it's a chart glitch, I just have to stay in the trade and set my stop loss appropriately, which is the low of the previous candle. And then my profit target is 2 times that risk, and then just let it play out. So that's what I'm doing here. And then you can see I get stopped out. Again, not a big deal because I'm only trading with 1 share. Even if it was full position size, it wouldn't have been a huge loss, but it would have been more frustrating because, you know, it wasn't a trade I was supposed to be in anyway. And that was what all the stuff earlier this morning on my YouTube channel is about. And, you know, we're just waiting now to see what Webull is able to do about it. And I will let you guys know as soon as they let me know of the fix. So CRSR, MDIA, they also met my screener criteria, but they're both trading below the previous high, so there were no trades to take there. Evfm met the screener criteria at this point and eventually did break out above the previous high, but then this was an error on my part because once it started selling off like this, it actually fell off the top gainers list. So it was still in the most active by volume, but it fell off the top gainers list, so I shouldn't have taken this trade, and I did. And once I realized my error, again, I just have to wait it out and set my stop loss and profit target appropriately. And on this trade, it really doesn't matter P&L wise, but it does screw up the data for the trade tracker because this is another, you know, loser. But it's only a 3-cent loss, and even if it was full position size, it wouldn't be a big loss because it's just a 3-cent risk. So anyway, this is that trade, and there's me moving my profit target in the appropriate level, and I get stopped out. So that's pretty much it for the trades that I took. Now at this point, there's still about 10 minutes for me to look for an entry. What would have to happen, and that was just me updating my swing trade with SPXL, moving my stop up. So what would have to happen for me to take another trade at this point is these stocks would have to break out above these highs, or something else would have to pop up on the screener, which it didn't. So that's pretty much it. ORPH eventually did break out, but it was like right at 959. So let's see, at 958, I guess. The 959 candle would have had to make a new high in order for me to take a trade, and that didn't happen. So there was no trades for me to take. And I think it's important to, no more trades for me to take, but it's important to tell you that the plan is also keeping me out of some of these dangerous trades as well, because that Enob, which met my screener criteria, but did not meet my chart criteria. Let's see what happened to it later that day. So here's where it was at the open, right around $13. And like I said, it broke down below this level, so I couldn't take a trade anymore. I would have to get above that $12.99, and it never did. Not only did it not get back above that $12.99, but for the rest of the day, it just sold off and eventually went all the way down to the $7 area or just below. And so anyway, that just goes to show you that a good plan will not only get you into trades that should have a high probability of going to 2R, but it should keep you out of the trades that are likely to sell off throughout the day. Or at least if you're taking your stops, you don't get stuck in a trade selling off like that. So that's the main thing. No matter what, no matter whether you're doing test trading or full position size trading or even paper trading, make sure you have a trading plan going into every single trade and you follow it, you stick to it no matter what. Otherwise, your data is meaningless. And then always take your stop losses, honor your profit target, and in the long run, you should be green. Take care.